Hello everyone. In today's video, we are going to learn about a grammar topic, question tag. So let's get started with the basic rules of what exactly is question tag. Question tags, in this you will find speaker asks such type of question when he or she is already aware of the answer or have a rough idea about the answer and wants to confirm it whether it's true or whether it's not. For example, in this picture here, you can see there's a girl who is singing, right? So let's name her as Gayatri. So I can say that Gayatri is singing. But still, to make it confirm, I may ask it like this. Gayatri is singing, isn't she? Well, I know the answer, but still I want to confirm that. Now in the second picture, you can see that there's a boy who's writing. But still, I want to confirm. John is writing, isn't he? Now in this image, you can see there are lots of grammar sentences, or rather grammar stuff here. So I think someone is studying grammar here. We are learning grammar, aren't we? Actually, we are learning grammar right now, right? But still, I feel this much of sentences are not enough for you to understand. So I think I should give you more examples, shouldn't I? Okay, I hope by now you must have got an idea what exactly is a question tag. It's just to ask, it's just to confirm whether the whatever information you have is correct or not, right? Now let's go ahead to the second point or second rule, that is question tags are attached or tagged onto the ending of a declarative statement. When I make declarative statement, it means just a simple sentence. So very often you might find in this video only statement would be mentioned. So let's have example of a declarative sentence here. John is writing. Wow, this is the sentence which was there in the earlier slide, right? So you can see that John is actually writing something. And what was the tag added here? It was isn't he, right? So when I add this tag to the declarative statement, it becomes a question. So this is how we write it. John is writing. It's a statement when a full stop is there, but while changing it to question, we replace that full stop with a comma. And then we add the tag ahead, isn't he? That's how it goes. John is writing, isn't he? Let's proceed to the third rule. Now here you will find question tags are formed when with the auxiliary or modal verb from the main sentence and the appropriate subject pronoun. Let's have some examples. Before that, we should know what are modal verbs and auxiliary verbs. Basically, it's like many of the kids or students very often get confused with the predicate part, especially the verbs, in which tense they are, what are modal verbs, auxiliary verbs, past tense, present tense and all. So here I have listed some of the basic modal and auxiliary verbs, and when you find these verbs in the sentence, they may act as a helping verb or the main verb. These are the verbs which will you pick out to form a question tag with. Okay, so let's have an example here. I'll write a statement first and then let's see what a tag should be added, question tag should be added to it. So the first statement goes like, you are a girl. Now in this sentence you will find there's the auxiliary verb are, which acts as a main verb here. So it's the only verb here, so we will form a tag using the verb are here. So my tag becomes aren't you. Did you notice that? In the statement it was are, but when I added a tag it is aren't, it is negative, are not. Second statement, the jokers were riding a bike. Now in this statement you will find were riding is the verb predicate part, wherein were is the helping verb and riding is the main verb. Out of that were we are going to form a tag, question tag using the helping verb were. And so it will be the jokers were riding a bike, weren't they? If you see if you have noticed that wherever the subjects are, I am taking a suitable pronouns that goes with the subject well. The jokers, they are in plural, so that's why I use the pronoun they. The next statement, Neha isn't coming with us. Now here is coming, that is not coming is the verb predicate part, wherein coming is the main verb, not is a negative, and is the helping verb. So as it's a statement wherein negative word is there, so obviously my tag would be in positive. So it goes like this: Neha is coming with us. Is she? Now the fourth sentence again with a negative word in it. I have no energy left. So here have is the modal verb used which is acting as a main verb too. So as it's a negative statement, my answer would be in positive. I have no energy left. Have I? Now let's move ahead. As you have seen in the earlier part, if the statement is affirmative, then the question tag would be negative. And if the statement is negative, then the question tag would be affirmative. Let's see some of these such statements again. The first statement, Rima was shocked. Now if you read this properly, you will find there is no negative word in this statement and the statement is in affirmative, right? So it's an affirmative sentence. So as the sentence is affirmative, the helping verb, or rather the verb auxiliary verb which is used here, was, becomes was not, which is often written as wasn't. So my tag that would be added will be wasn't she. So the pronoun that can be used for Rima would be she. So the answer would be Rima was shocked, wasn't she. Let's proceed to the next sentence. Fleet Street was full of red-headed people. Again here the sentence is an affirmative, right? So the tag would be positive here. So here the verb is was. So it will be wasn't. Now we are talking about Fleet Street. It's a subject and it's not a human. It's a place, right? So this appropriate pronoun could be it here. So my answer would be was, wasn't it. Now let's move to the next statement. You're not a bad person. Okay, in this sentence you will find it's a negative statement, right? Wherein are is the auxiliary used. So it's a negative statement. So are not is there. So while forming a question tag, I'll be making use of are. So my tag would be are you. You are not a bad person, are you? The next statement, I will never lie. Again, a negative statement wherein the negative word never is mentioned here. So my question tag would be a positive, that is will I. So I will never lie. Will I? I hope you have understood exactly how the question tag is formed by now. But still, very often what it happens, students get confused with the auxiliary modal verbs in the statement, how exactly its negatives to be formed. So here I have listed certain verbs, modal and auxiliary verbs, in their affirmative and negative forms. Yeah, the very first one, am, which is a simple present tense verb, it is often written in negative form as ain't, that is am plus not, ain't or aren't. Now ain't I have written here in reddish color because it's this is now like it's very rarely used nowadays, though it's correct, but more often you will find people using negative form of am as aren't. Then here's the list goes on: is, isn't, aren't, wasn't, and all and all and all. Now have a look at the other one, that is modal verbs, whereas the first one will becomes won't. Now students or kids often make a mistake when they write will plus not, they write willn't. It's not willn't, it becomes won't, right? Then shall also they write shalln't. It's not shalln't, it becomes shan't. Then may and might, if you see that they have been again written in reddish colors so that it's highlighted here, it's because now these modal verbs are rarely used in like sentences wherein negative question tags would be formed. So I think you would hardly ever come across such kind of modal verbs to form a question tag. Okay, but it's not used very often. So now let's recap again what exactly you have learned. Okay, Sachi is reading a book, right? So is reading is the verb here, wherein reading is the main verb, is the helping verb, auxiliary, right? So the tag it will have is of is. So my answer would be Sachi is reading a book, isn't she? As the sentence is affirmative, the tag is negative. Second, second statement, Anuja will tell the answer. Will tell is the verb part here, wherein tell is the main verb and will acts as a helping verb, right? So we will form a tag with the will. Now as it's a positive affirmative sentence, the tag would be negative, right? Anuja will tell the answer. Won't she? The third statement, I am a cute girl. So now am acts as a main verb here, and I have already told you what would be the negative form of am, right? So it can be ain't or it can be aren't. So I'm a cute girl, aren't I? Well, I'm a cute girl, ain't I is also correct. Now this sentence, students work hard to improve grades. Oh, something is strange here. There's a main verb here, work, but I do not see any modal or auxiliary helping verbs here, right? Then Sachi reads a book. Again, there's a main verb, reads, but no modal or auxiliary. Anuja told the answer. Told again a main verb without like helping verbs here. How am I going to form a question tag then? Right? So I think it's a bit confusing when such kind of question arises, like only action verbs are there, like main verb, and it has no auxiliary or modal verb. Students often get confused what exactly they would do, how they would form a question tag with, right? So here is a solution for that. When you do not have any auxiliary or modal verb present in the sentence, then you have to make use of the verbs do, does, and did. Okay, so see, as I write these verbs, you can find that they are in affirmative form, right? So when the sentence is in like negative, we use this affirmative form, do, does, did. But when the sentence is in like positive, the negative form used would be don't, doesn't, and did. So these verbs you will make use only when there's no auxiliary or modal verb in the sentence. Okay. Now let's see how exactly it is to be used. When to use do, when to use does, and when to use did. Now here is a table that I have shown you here, wherein you will find that do and does is to be used in present tense, whereas did is to be used in past tense. Okay, so let's go for the first statement. Students work hard to improve grades. Now in this sentence you will find work is the verb here. Okay, it doesn't have any helping verb, right? And if you see the verb work, it's in like present tense or past tense, right? I think it's in present tense. It is in present tense, right? So as it's in present tense, we can use do or does here, right? But see, we can't use two of the verbs. We have to either use do or we have to either use or does, right? So exactly which verb to use here? So if you have to go for that, have a look at your subject then. Subject, that is students. Now students itself is a singular or plural subject. I think it's plural, right? Students means many, so it's a plural subject. So you can see the table above. When your subject is in plural form, the present tense verb will be do, right? So I'm going to make use of do. Now in this, if you pay attention to the sentence, it's in positive, that is affirmative statement. So if I'm going to make use of do, it should be in negative form, which becomes don't. So my answer to this statement would be students work hard to improve grades, don't they? Now let's proceed to the next statement. Again I have this table here so that it will be easy for you to look at it. Sachi reads a book, right? Verb over here is reads, wherein it's in present tense. So obviously we may use do or does for this, right? But exactly what to use. So for that, have a look at this subject, Sachi. And she is in singular form. It's a proper name. So it's singular. So when you have singular subject in present tense, we make use of the verb does. As the sentence is in affirmative, does becomes doesn't. So my answer would be Sachi reads a book, doesn't she? Let's proceed to the third sentence. Anuja told the answer. Here, told is the verb. If you pay attention to the statement, you will find told is the verb used in past tense. So, if you look at the table there, you will find for past tense whether the subject is singular or plural, it will be did for both cases, right? So we are going to make use of the did. But still let's have a look at the subject. It's Anuja, which is in singular. It's a proper noun, right? So, and as the sentence is in affirmative here, so my tag would means verb will be didn't, right? So answer would be Anuja told the answer. Didn't she? Let's have another look. Similar like past tense sentence, but wherein the subject would be in plural form. Students told the answer. So you know what's the verb here? Told, right? Which is in past tense. We have to make use of did. Students, which is a subject, but in plural form. But though it's in plural form, it doesn't affect the verb here. We are going to use did anyhow. As it's affirmative sentence, did becomes didn't. And the answer goes, students told the answer, didn't they? Okay, so let's have a small recap of the entire grammar topic. Exactly what things we have learned in a question tag. Question tags are mainly used in speech when we want to confirm something or when we want to find out if something is true or not. Question tags are short form at the end of statements. They are formed with the auxiliary or modal verb from the main sentence and appropriate subject pronoun. If the statement is affirmative, the tag is negative, and if the statement is negative, the tag is positive. Keep these points in your mind, and I'm damn sure you will never make a mistake while adding a question tag to a given statement. Here's a sentence for example, John is writing, isn't he? A statement wherein in a positive, affirmative, wherein a negative question tag has been added. Let's go through the structural form of it. When a positive statement, we have a negative question tag, right? You are a clever girl. So we have a are, which is a positive statement verb here. So that we will follow when we form a question tag, we have to put a comma, and then a negative form of the verb will take, that is aren't, and an appropriate pronoun, that is you, and a question mark we have to give there. So that's you are a clever girl, aren't you? Same vice versa, when we have a negative statement, we will add a positive question tag to it, right? So let's have a sentence here. You cannot go down, right? So cannot is a negative verb here. So while forming it, a question tag, add a comma, write the cannot in a positive form, that is can, and then go for the appropriate subject, that is you again here. So you cannot go down, can you? I hope this video might help you to understand question tag.